Gaming sometimes sucks. If you're anything like me, that is something that you have absolutely thought to yourself lately. Gaming just isn't what it used to be when I was younger, or maybe I'm just getting older and growing out of gaming. These are all things that I thought when gaming started to become unfun, and it felt awful. Gaming has been something that I have used for entertainment for decades, but slowly I began to notice that this thing that once used to bring me so much happiness was starting to feel more like a burden instead of an escape. The reason behind this feeling was so obvious that I probably made it the title of this video. If you want to start to enjoy gaming again, you need to stop playing games you hate. To understand why you need to stop playing games that you hate, it is important to understand why somebody might play a game that they hate or that they might not be having fun with. One of the things for me, and one of the things that I see a lot of people talk about, is gaming as a nostalgia. Like, for instance, if you were to look through all of my YouTube content, you'd see in there that there's a lot of sports games. I grew up on sports games. I would go stand in line at a GameStop with one of my friends to get sports games and then come back and play it for hours on end. I would lose myself completely as a kid in the newest Madden. I've always told stories about how me and one of my friends who passed away would spend weeks on NFL 2K5 to get like the best training that we could for all of the players that we were acquiring. And I did say NFL 2K5. I am that old. But I found that every time I bought a new Madden or bought a new NBA 2K, I was always chasing that feeling that I had when I was a kid, trying to capture that moment again. And I notice it in a lot of videos that I watch too, the gaming landscape in general. Like taking Madden, for example, a lot of videos that you see are creators talking about how, Madden just isn't what it used to be. It used to be so much better. There used to be so many of these things that we could do back then that we just can't do now. And absolutely, like the things that were back in the game before should definitely be something that is in now, but it's always talking about the past, like how the past used to make you feel about a game, where the present just isn't quite making you feel like that anymore. And for me, realizing that after probably a decade of stagnation in some of these games, and maybe even longer, I accepted that I'm never going to get that feeling again, ever again. And while my journey has mainly focused on sports games, this is happening across the entire gaming landscape. People will play any game that they hate, chasing that feeling that they once had before. Getting huge kills in a Warzone match to end it out on your first win. Having a perfect ult to win your first ranked game in Overwatch. Finally clearing that big raid with all of your friends in World of Warcraft. Always chasing that feeling that you once had when you were younger, but never quite achieving it. The reason I chased the nostalgia over and over and over again was because I hadn't yet realized that my taste in gaming and video games in general has just changed over time. I didn't grow old, although being in my 30s in this space feels like I'm 2,000 years old, but I didn't grow old and grow out of gaming. I just grew out of the games that I enjoyed playing. So if nostalgia is a powerful tool that keeps us all engaged with the video games that we're playing, how might somebody break away from that? And while this may seem extremely simplistic, maybe even fucking stupid, you need to realize something. You are never, and I mean never, going to feel that same feeling that you had when you were younger playing these games today. As I said a minute ago, me and one of my friends would spend hours getting the perfect training in NFL 2K5, and another one of my friends would go up to GameStop every year and wait in line for the new Madden. As I loaded up Madden 24 2 years ago, I realized that I'm never gonna feel the same way about this game that I felt when I played it with my friend all those years ago. The majority of sports games being created now have just moved away from what I enjoy, and they're never going to go back to what I enjoyed. Is that the fault of the company? Well, yes, and I'll get to that later, but overall, it's just the games have changed and my tastes have changed. Instead of chasing a feeling in a game that I knew I was never going to get that feeling from again, I just started to play other games. Then I haven't looked back. And I also want to add here, because it is something that a lot of people have told to me. They'll say something along the lines of, well, Zane, I only play FPS games. I don't like anything else. I only like FPS games. And none of the FPS games have been good. I'm just not enjoying them. But that's all I play. And while there are people who will never play something outside of a specific genre, I always ask, have you just tried playing something else lately? So many games and so many genres of games have been birthed in the last 10 years. And as humans, things change. Something that maybe you didn't enjoy 10 years ago might be something that you enjoy now. For me, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I'd like this little game behind me called Summer House, I would have smacked you in the mouth. But this $5 game, where there is no winning, no objective, just creativity, is something that I have immensely enjoyed. It's almost therapeutic to me. And the only reason I found it is because it was randomly recommended to me through my Steam homepage. What I'm trying to say is just give some other games a shot. You never know what you might like now. And hell, maybe out there is your Summer House, a game that can help break you away from that feeling that you've been chasing for probably years now. But another big reason that people play games that they hate, and it's probably something that you've seen countless and countless and countless of YouTube videos on, and that is the sunken cost fallacy. The phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they've invested heavily in it, even when it is clear that abandonment would be more beneficial. Sunken cost fallacy is purely based on human emotion, which makes it extremely easy to fall into in all facets of life, not just gaming. Rebel Moon might actually be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but I'm already 30 minutes into it. Might as well finish it and see if maybe it gets better. Or completely changing the type of content that you do on a YouTube channel definitely is hurting the amount of views that you're getting. But I mean, you've already committed to changing it up and doing this type of content, so you're not going to go back now. You might as well just stick to it and see what happens. It's extremely difficult to break away from a game when you have given that game so much of your time, or energy, or money. You might not want to quit playing World of Warcraft because you have 15,000 hours in it. And if you quit now, all of that time is all wasted, right? Or how can you justify quitting Genshin Impact? Because, I mean, you've put $10,000 into it, trying to beg Hoyoverse to give you all of the waifus to add to your collection of waifus. When breaking out of the sunken cost fallacy, it's extremely important to change the perspective at which you're looking at your current situation. Let's say you do have 15,000 hours in World of Warcraft. Does stopping playing it right now take away all of the fun and excitement that you had when you were enjoying the game? Maybe right now you're not enjoying it. Okay, then let's look into the future and see what maybe 15,000 more hours of you playing a game you're not enjoying might look like. Life, in the grand scheme of things, is extremely short. If you were to pour all of this time into something that you're really not quite enjoying anymore, is it really worth it? And the same goes for money. I mean, not just time. The money that you have spent in the game that you've played for who knows how long, that money is gone. Forever. It's just gone. Shifting the perspective is, when you were enjoying the game, you were willing to give the company, give the developers a little money on the side to show that, hey, I'm enjoying this. I'm getting value from this. Here's some money from all of the value that I'm receiving. Stopping now doesn't take away from all of the fun that you had with the game in the past. You're just not enjoying the game as much anymore. So you have chosen not to support it monetarily. It may be difficult, but just try to shift your perspective. Whatever situation that you're in, if you're watching this video and you're like, man, yeah, I really hate the games that I'm playing, try to shift the perspective on what things might look like in the future for you for that game that you're playing. That new view on the games that you're just not enjoying could snap you out of whatever game you are playing and allow you to spread out to try new things. It doesn't take away from anything that happened in the past or any fun that you had with things in the past. It just helps you to look towards the future and what the future could hold for the entertainment that you're getting. Something that I pair up with sunken cost fallacy is just the overall skill that one might have with a game. I don't know about you, but I like to be good at stuff. Showing off my skill in games is fun, and learning new things that make me even better is also quite fun to me. I find enjoyment in the chase for perfection. I know I'm never going to be perfect, that's impossible, but the chase for perfection, the journey to perfection, is extremely rewarding and fun to me. And once you reach what you believe is your apex, it might not actually be your apex, but what you believe is your apex, it is extremely hard to get off that ride. Boring to bring up another sports reference, I know, but I mean, it's most of the games that I've played growing up, and I have the most knowledge in them, but I've played PGA 2K for 10 years. I played PGA 2K before it was even known as PGA 2K. It was known as the Golf Club. I've collectively played all of these games somewhere north of 3,000 hours, which for golf is a lot. I reached to what I believed was the top echelons of the game. Now, there were still people that were better than me. There's always going to be people who are better than me. But when I really put my mind to it, I would say I reached somewhere close to a top 100 player in the world. I created content for this series for 5 years on YouTube and 8 years on Twitch. But when I woke up on May 16th, 2023, I realized something. I was only firing up the game. I was only playing it because I needed to make a video on it. And the only reason that I was making a video on it is because I was fairly good at the game. I wasn't loading it up to play for fun. I hadn't done that in months. I was loading it up because I was good at the game. People wanted to watch because I was good at the game. And that hit me pretty hard. So I branched out and started to do different things with my content. Some good, some bad. But overall, the journey and the things that I've learned along the way has been a really fun experience. Being good at something doesn't mean that that's the one thing that you have to do with the rest of your life, especially in gaming. How long has it been since you started something new and just enjoyed the experience of learning it? Like last year, I challenged myself to play Trackmania for 100 hours and see how good I could get in the game in 100 hours. And that experience, starting something fresh, learning it, practicing it, that has been one of the best experiences that I have ever had in gaming in my life. You should also go check that video out because I think you'll actually really enjoy it. And that break from PGA provided me a clearer mind to jump back into the new game when it actually launched this year. And I've been playing it for a few months now, and I'm having a ton of fun with the game again. As the saying goes, variety is the spice of life. And while I don't suggest you test that variety out with different women when you're married, maybe try out variety in gaming instead. So far, though, we've gone through the more emotional ways that games might have a hold on you. But there is a much bigger problem in the gaming industry, and I do want to spend just a little time on it. It's the business of being malicious. It's the things that companies will do to grab a hold of you and all of your time and keep you focused on one thing, their game. The biggest one of those practices is FOMO, or fear of missing out. Oh, we have a new battle pass. You better log in, buy the battle pass, and play for the next 40 hours, because if you don't, you're never going to get any of this stuff again. Publishers will use this in any way to milk all of your attention and also all of your money. I had a big problem with FOMO when it came to playing a game like Honkai Star Rail. I would spend hours a day going through tons of meaningless content that I had no desire to even do in the first place, just so I could get some extra chances to add a new character. Which, looking back at it now, is kind of sad. It took a very blunt way of me looking at these things and these games to change the view that I had for these games. And I'm going to give you that blunt view right now. You ready? You see this shit? Yeah. None of this shit matters. Not even a little fucking bit. All these characters that you see will more than likely just be worthless as soon as the new characters come out. Or new content will come out for a specific group of characters that make all of the weapons and all of the gear that you had completely meaningless. You just have to go back and farm the new stuff. And you need to grind. You need to grind a lot to get the stuff that you need. Hell, even in things like Ultimate Team for sports games, the stuff that they release is completely obsolete and useless in a week. And for Ultimate Team games specifically, when the new game comes out, all of those cards, all of those collectibles, all those things that you've gotten, they're all worthless in the next game. And when the new game comes out, what are you getting? You're getting the same exact things that you got in the year prior, sometimes less, sometimes more, but you're still getting the same exact things over and over and over again every single year. This time, though, they have a different picture on the front. All these skins, all of these emotes, all of these things that you're getting, that you're grinding for, are just going to be obsolete when the new thing comes out. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. But I want to say, if you're enjoying the game, I mean, why not get it? You're enjoying it. You might as well be rewarded for something that you're enjoying. And these things do provide rewards. Even for Ultimate Team games. I mean, if you're enjoying playing Ultimate Team games, continue to enjoy them. I mean, hell, I'm even enjoying the new MLB The Show. But if logging on to get this worthless garbage is feeling more like a chore, then why are you logging in the first place? There are so many other games out there that can provide you with 5 hours of entertainment. You can get them for $5. Sometimes you spend $5 and you play a game for 200 hours. There are so many games out there now that can give you the same exact feeling of achieving something for so much less time, so much less money. These more temporary games can give you that direct hit of dopamine of achieving something without asking you to dedicate your life to it. Which leads me to another malicious practice that a lot of companies do, and that is the hamster wheel of pain. Hamsters. Cute. Fluffy. Make squeaky noises. Run on these wheels for hours on end. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about here. Well, except for the wheel. The wheel is correct, but you're running on the wheel, not the hamster. Some examples of games that require this form of practice are mainly mobile games, like the gacha games that I was talking about a second ago, or really any mobile game that's ever been invented. Daily logins lock you into loading up the game every single day, because if you don't, you might miss out on the rewards that we were going to give you. And we can't have you missing out on the rewards now, can we? So make sure that you get on every single day and complete some of the most boring, brainless, worthless quests that have ever been invented here, ready for you. What really blows me away is how this practice has bled into every single genre of gaming. You see this stuff in sports games, MMOs, ARPGs, MOBAs, shooters, every fucking game on the market. It doesn't matter if it was free or it cost you $120. It needs to demand all of your time daily. A lot of these tactics boil down to publishers mainly shifting their focus in the need to make every single game a live service that is created. An idea that some games have done extremely well, but a lot of games have done so poorly that the quality of game that we've, as gamers, have been getting for years now have been well below par. All of them looking for that one game that they can latch onto like a cash cow and suck all of the money out of their fans' wallets. And these publishers know that there is a winning strategy to this all. Obviously, it works. We are human, and they can take advantage of those human tendencies that we have to try to lock us into a hamster wheel. And while maybe you're not ready right now to stop playing these games, eventually you will hit a breaking point, the same as the breaking point that I hit. And also, I do want to reiterate this because this is definitely coming off as old man yells at clouds. Like, that's what I feel like right now. But I do want to reiterate that if you're enjoying these, continue playing them. I'm not here to tell you to stop playing games that you're enjoying. Even if the business model that a lot of these games are taking advantage of, I don't agree with. If you're enjoying them, continue playing them. Who am I to tell you to stop doing something that you're having fun with? And if you want to give the company money because you're enjoying the game, continue giving them money. Again, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. It's your fucking money. It's not my money, it's your money. Spend it however you'd like. This is for the people who have that little gremlin in the back of their brain constantly whispering to them, why are you still playing this? As you log in for the 500th day in a row to kill the same 10 creatures that you've killed for 499 days before it, so that you can get a little box that when you open the box, you get one of the things that you already have 200 of. This video is for you. Take a week off from the game. Whatever you're playing right now that you're not enjoying, take a week off. Go play something else that you maybe thought that you would have zero interest in whatsoever. If you make it that full week, maybe that's your sign. And if not to stop playing the game entirely, just to show you that, hey, I can stop playing the game for a week and come back and be completely fine to pick up where I left off. You can log in when you feel like playing the game and achieve the same exact thing that you would have achieved if you would have been playing for the past week. And I mean, these are just a few of the practices that publishers and companies will use to try to lock you in as long as they can. I'm sure that you can go down in the comments right now and type out 10 other things that you've seen companies do that you think are malicious. In the end, your main goal, well, is to blow up and act like you don't know nobody, but your main goal should be for games is to have fun and to be entertained. You are paying for this, if not with money, with your time. And when it comes to time, that's even more important because that is a very finite resource. Gaming overall is supposed to be fun, not a job. And I think some of us have absolutely lost sight of that. Not only for gamers either. I think that developers and publishers have also lost sight of that a little bit. And that loss of long-term vision for short-term gains has pushed a lot of gamers like me away from bigger studios and more into indie titles. I truly feel that there is a reckoning coming in the gaming space. And as gamers, we need to realize that we have more power than we think we do. And I hope this video helps shift your perspective on the games that you're playing. And instead of playing a game that you hate, you start playing a game that you love. And hell, maybe even get back that enjoyment that you had when you were playing games as a kid. Thank you for watching.